Welcome. Hello.
Hey everybody, so today is what? The Tower of Destruction.
Dun dun dun.
Oh man, so my printer had decided to do the Tower of Destruction, that's why we're 1 minute late. Michael, I haven't seen you all week, how
Jamie,
are you?
A pleasure as always.
So, welcome everybody, this is
Our weekly
chat, the Two of Wands.
Yes.
Where me and Mike get together and with everybody else and talk about the tarot.
Discuss the tarot one card at a time.
Oh my gosh. And so why do we do this, Mike?
We do this for many reasons.
What's the big reason?
I'm promoting my deck.
No, who cares about that?
Well, I care.
What's the other?
I'm sure everybody's very eager to see it.
What is the other main reason?
Your main reason.
My main reason.
And mine.
And
is
yes.
We talk a lot about tarot, and so
We used to go, we would have dinner with our significant others.
and they would get sick of
And
us.
we would talk for hours because Michael is creating a deck.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
he is creating a deck, so that's his reason. That's his raison d'etre.
Yes.
But we would talk for hours about what cards he's doing, how's it, da da ba da ba ba ba. And finally, Mina, she suggested, why don't you guys just do a podcast or something and stop talking about it before we divorce you?
And so we did.
And so we did, and so here we are, and we're up to number 16. We've done 16 weekly episodes without missing one.
I know. We're masters.
We are something. We are something. So, so it is the Tower.
And did you know that Stuart Kaplan, according to tarot expert Stuart, the oldest reference to this card is not the Tower, but the arrow.
It is, and it's on page 186, and it's on because I looked that up, and yes. As a matter of fact, look at this. Look at my first note right there. In the earliest tarot list of subjects, the Sermons cum Ludus of 1850.
Around the 15th
Italy.
century.
Yep. The card is called La Stragita, the arrow, meaning the lightning bolt.
Yes.
Stuart Kaplan, Encyclopedia of Tarot, Volume 2. Look at me. Footnotes.
Yeah, exactly. Sources. But other names.
Yeah, no, so that is true, and I thought that was really interesting.
Of course it's true. I wouldn't lie to you.
No.
I'm not the devil.
I thought that was interesting.
It is.
That the lightning bolt, because to tell you the truth, before we decided to do this, I had never heard that before. I'd never read it anywhere or anything like that.
Well, here, I've got some other names for you.
Well,
So the Thunderbolt, the Fire of Heaven, the Lightning Struck Tower, the House of God, interestingly, also the Devil's House,
yes.
the Castle of Plutus,
Okay.
the Hospital,
Yep.
and the Tower of Babel are all other aliases for this card.
And I also got El Fuoco, fire. El Fudri, I'm totally messing that up. Lightning.
Yes.
Megoni di Pluni, House of Pluto.
Yes, I said that one. Yep.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep.
Casa di Diavolo, which was the House of the Devil.
Yep.
Yep. And House of the Damned.
Yes. So shout out to Justin Michael, who was saying how,
Oh, it's also called the Tower.
Yes, but that's kind of a misnomer, though. It's not really about the tower, is it? It's about the lightning bolt. And one of those early cards, it doesn't even have a tower in it. It's like hitting a tree.
You know what? That is true, but there are stories that could be not only just in the Bible.
Yep.
But there are other
stories
as to why this tower might be the way it is.
Are you thinking St. Barbara?
I think you are. Okay, so let's go. Let's kind of go.
So wait. It's just a detour here. So Jamie and I have been researching on our own. But we're not sure which cross streaming because we keep it secret until the day of. So, did you get the St. Barbara story?
I got the St. Barbara story also.
Okay. Do you want me to go with that one, or you want to tell the tale?
Let's see. Let's go back in time first.
Okay.
So, and actually, it's kind of interesting. So let's think about the Tower of Babel, which goes back to the Bible. The Bible goes back to a lot of different references to it, but we've got the.
So basically, they were trying to reach the heavens. So they were building this giant tower, and in their vanity, they thought they could reach heaven.
And it was not a house to God, it was just a house of vanity.
A ladder to reach heaven. They could.
Well, that is a different story, too, about the ladder.
Okay.
I got one of those.
Okay.
But this one, come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. And how did God feel about this?
He punished them because he's like, you're a little bit too vain. We got to take you down a notch.
Yeah,
so he made
people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this. Then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down, confuse their language so they will not understand each other.
Exactly.
Ta-da.
Exactly. And did you know that the Hebrew letter that's associated with this card is Peh, P-E-H, and that means mouth. So what do the Tower of Babel and the speaking, it all kind of connects.
Right. Yep. And
but I'll get to that more when we discuss the esoteric stuff. But let's go back in time.
So it's just interesting because obviously we want to reflect on the fact that it's like, first off, we have Hollywood here, so everybody, you get the death card, but also you always get the Tower of Destruction. And we watched all 2,100 episodes of Dark Shadows for one thing and one thing only.
You did.
To see Julia pull that up, so every time she says the Tower of Destruction. So, so when they were making these cards, and we're doing our game here, we're making Triumphi, we're making the Tarot.
Yeah.
And we're putting them in order, and we've got strength, we've got death, we've got all these things here, and then we've got the devil.
Right.
And then we move on from our vanity from there.
Master of illusions and tricks.
Yep. And then we got the tower, which overrules all of them, which is the power of God. As we in our ego and our pride and our hubris.
Right.
And so we build the tower, and then we have all the art that goes into this as we're building these and as we're playing these games. We are going to hear about this and see this all the time about our ego, our hubris, our desires that exclude God. What happens whenever you exclude God in anything that you do is that you are going to have
face the consequences.
Hell on earth rain down on you.
So, because this
look at this! I love this. See how it's just like the little God right here peeking. He hasn't even done anything yet, but he's got a little beard and mustache. He's just peeking down. I really like that one. Go ahead.
But yeah. So I was going to say, how this is the 16th card, and I like to connect it in cycles of 10 to the sixth card.
Absolutely.
So the 6th card is the lovers, and you might, what does that got to do with the tower? But actually, a lot. So it's the connection is this harmony between choice and fate. Am I gonna choose the person because Cupid shot an arrow?
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm going.
Yeah. But I was looking for history stuff. But go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, you can keep going.
Oh, this is my history.
Well, because we're going to get to the meanings and stuff like that. But I just want to I want to build that foundation, the cultural foundation,
sure,
history, and then we'll move up to modern times.
Yeah.
Just to try and keep a flow. But go ahead.
Can I do a quick detour, and then I promise we'll go back to history.
Okay.
But yeah. So the idea of fate versus free will.
Yep.
And the harmony of connecting those two. So with Cupid, is he going to strike blindly and your passions overwhelm you, and that would be fate, right?
Yep.
Versus free will, do you have the willpower to make the right choice and go for the girl with the laurels in her hair as opposed to the flowers? That's free will. So, and when you work those two together, when you're going, with your higher purpose, your divine will is in conjunction with your actual will, your lower will, when those two are in harmony, then magic happens, right? So it's the same kind of idea with the tower. Is if you are following your true purpose, your divine will, your the higher meaning of your life,
right,
that God wants you to have, then all is good. But if you don't, then the lightning bolt is going to come and course correct.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And when we go into that, because and I agree in the cycle of tens also. So that means you have 6, you have 16,
right?
Then you have also
26,
the minors, 26 in your deck,
in my deck.
But and so it's and I think it works really well that way with the 6, because the lovers is about making the right choice.
Yes.
Good. Are you going to go with hubris? Is she hot? But you shouldn't, or should you go for the one that will make a really good wife and mother? And then which one is going to be the best in the long run?
Right.
So
when you have those two things in harmony, the free will and the fate, then that's the sweet spot. That's what you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll cover that more when we get into more into like the reading of the cards.
Right. Like Let's go back in time though.
So
history.
Yes, the history. So we're sitting here, and so we've got the Bible, and then the house of God.
Right. And the same farmer story. You want to do it?
Well, not yet, because we're still in the Bible with the house of God.
Okay.
So we have Jacob. So do you know the story of Jacob?
I'm sure I do, but refresh my memory.
Okay, so Jacob pretty much. Jacob says he says in Genesis 28:17-16, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. So Jacob rose early in the morning, took a stone that he had, put it under his head, and set up a pillar and poured oil on it, and he called that place Bethel. Okay. Now, in Hebrew, do you know what the name Bethel means?
I don't.
It means house of God.
Okay.
So, and I'm bringing this up because we have La Maison Dieu.
Right.
We have the house of God.
Yes, indeed.
And so, and I had been wondering, so that's going to bring around to, I was wondering, why was it called the house of God?
Yeah, and then why did it become the devil's house?
And then, what I found out, and I don't know if, I didn't see anybody who made this connection.
Uh-huh.
But I was doing my internet searches this week, and I was bouncing around, and I got stuck on Job and looking at him.
Okay.
And you've heard of Jacob's Ladder.
Yes.
Okay. Not just the movie.
Although that's good.
So the description in Jacob's Ladder. So Bethel is first referred to in the Bible as near where Abraham pitched his tent. Later, Bethel is mentioned as a location where Jacob dreams of a ladder leading to heaven, which he therefore named Bethel, house of God. And it goes, as he dreamed, he beheld a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God descending and ascending on it. And behold, the Lord stood beside him and said, I am the Lord, the God Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac.
Okay.
So that's in Genesis. So the Tower of Babel, they were building the temple to try and reach the heavens.
Right.
And here we have Jacob's Ladder that actually reaches
the heavens. Gotcha.
And so he names the place Bethel. And that's the only way I can connect how House of God
right
gets named for the Noble and the French decks.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out.
Interesting that there's the ladder works, and then they're like, well, let's build a tower. And maybe that's why he's angry. He's because I gave you a perfectly good ladder. Why are you building this? Why are we building this tower?
I know. Yeah. So and it was in his dream, and God liked Job. He tested him. He poked him with a fork and said, "Do you still like me?" And he was like, "Yes."
I tell you.
So
his Old Testament God.
Yeah.
Piece of work.
He's like somebody's dad. It's like every time you do something wrong, he takes something away.
Right.
So it's like Adam and Eve. They take a bite of the apple.
Well, that's whole different story.
I'm taking away your house. Then it's like, you know what? We're going to party, Dad. Is that okay? And then he's like, no, I'm going to take Sodom away from you. And he destroys that. Every time man has hubris And that's where it also comes up to the Tower and how people are thinking in the Middle Ages is that there is an honest threat because there's also plagues going on. There's all these things. So if we offend God, he's going to send a flood. Mm-hmm. He is going to rain down fire. He's going to
send you to the hospital.
He's going to send you to the hospital. So this all comes down to the Bible. And so, yeah, you want to do the St. Barbara story?
Okay, so yeah. For those that don't know.
Now we're in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, for those who don't know, there was this daughter of a pagan king, and she wanted to convert to Christianity for whatever reason. And the dad wasn't too happy about that, so he locked her in a tower with 2 windows, and she wanted to she carved a 3rd window to represent the Holy Trinity because she's all super Christian. And the pagan king's like, oh, that's not cool, so he kills her. But then a lightning bolt
chops off her head.
I tell you.
Yeah.
But then the lightning bolt comes down and gets him too.
Well, and that's exactly it.
The end.
Yeah. And so that's pretty much it. So again, offending God, then taking away one of his people, and then great, they make her a saint.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had read that, and that's why when we get into the other cards, we start to see 3 windows. Did I put the other cards in here? No, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So.
But go back to the okay. Unless you have something else.
So I was just saying that going through the history of the cards and everything like that.
I've got another Bible connection though for slightly later, the Marseille connection. If you don't mind me jumping to that.
Well, I was just going to throw in the fact again. One of the reasons why I threw out the fact that the Tower probably represents all the powers of God coming down on you when you're offending him. And I'm reading from Robert M. Place. I know you.
He's great.
And the Tower illustrates another scene from Revelation. In the text, St. John describes the opening of the 7 seals attached to the book of prophecy. When the 7th is opened, the earth is cleansed through earthquakes and a hail of fire. The stars fall from the sky. Towers are engulfed in flames, and the wicked perished. Thus is the word of the Lord.
Well, this is the word of Robert Place, but he's very.
Look at you.
Somebody's trying to get through, but now is not the time.
And so.
But no, Robert is a great tarot historian, so I definitely. Love his fact nuggets.
Yep, and I'll bring it up again also because when we get to Nimrod.
Sure.
Were you talking? So I just wanted to also show some of the earliest decks out there. And so we have them from the mid to late 15th century, and the deal is that the Visconti, which we always pull up,
they don't have
the devil, they don't have this.
Well, they might have, but we don't.
No, they might have.
Right, but we don't have it.
Right. But all the copies we have in existence, of that time period,
were lost.
Never made. Or because of again religious superstition.
We're hexed away.
We're going to play this wonderful game, and it's like, hey, the devil can be fun, but it's like, you know what? Having God in my deck, maybe a little, So
let's hide that card.
Struck down.
We'll put that card aside.
Yeah, and so the earliest decks that we actually do have are the Charles VI deck, where we've got the lightning coming down.
It's all about the lightning.
And it's interesting because the Roswald sheet also looks almost like this one. So they probably saw this deck, the Charles VI, and said, okay, we're going to make our imitation knockoff, our
or vice versa.
We're going to make our bootleg deck, and we're going to put it on Amazon. And it's going to be just as good as the Charles IV. Trust us.
Well,
yep. And so
for a wood block print, it's okay.
So and a Cologne and plain and practical. Thank you. So
the smart tarot dude is on. Really. Thank you.
So exactly. So so we've got our Amazon knockoffs here.
Yes.
And then the Rothschild sheets and the Budapest sheets that we have here. And so this is the only one at the time period where we're actually seeing people who are falling out. Most of the early decks and pictures that you find, it's actually difficult to find pictures of people falling unless they're in manuscripts.
But the Minchiati deck doesn't have a person falling, but they do have a person running out of a tower.
The building, yes.
Yeah, and it's on fire, and they're running out, and like this shadowy figure. Is that the devil pulling her back in?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, fun little.
Here we go.
But yeah, I really enjoy this depiction. So is it the house of the devil here, with the devil, pulling her back into the fiery tower? Or
again, to scare you to death.
Yeah, right.
And it's interesting when we get to a couple of the other ones. When we get to the Thoth deck.
Well, yeah, that's much better.
When we get along.
I got stuff on that.
Yeah. So we'll see that there are representations of this type also.
Yeah. But this is Minchiati is a very early deck.
Yes.
But moving forward. So do you know what these little dots are?
Well, I don't know, but I tell you what. Let's just move up into the future then.
Okay.
And then, so that's the 15th century. And then I just wanted to show that one of the few where people are actually falling here. So that's the Bedford Hours from 15th century. And
there's your tree.
Drivaville, yes.
Yeah.
And so we have the lightning. So
no tower in that card.
Yep. And so in Job 1:16, another servant came and said, "Lightning struck the sheep and the shepherds and killed them all. I am the only one who escaped." And so we have a Belgian tarot and the Jacques Vaville that's not showing a tower,
right?
But it's actually showing the lightning struck sheep. And
is the sheep there?
They are here. We have it on this.
But the lightning striking the tree. Thank goodness.
Yes. And there's a whole story about that. But basically, they are still showing another biblical scene where, hey, don't be a bad guy.
What? But the important thing, the consistent thing, is the lightning.
Yes.
There's no tower.
Yep.
But there's the lightning.
It's still the consistent thing, except for, again, as you said, like the Minchiati.
Yeah. Well, the Minchiati has a tower.
Yes.
But it's more about.
Gosh darn software. Okay, so we dropped. Let me just put that on here so that we can say
We're back.
Yep, we dropped and are back. Okay.
All right.
And
Back to our normal.
It looks like here that it still kept it going, so.
That's good.
Yes. So anyway, where were we?
Okay. So, can I talk about the dots now? Not yet? Okay.
No. That's fine. So we are coming up to the nice. Did you want to talk about the bonus? Yes. Solabusca?
Solabusca. Yeah, I didn't bring my deck for the
So, you didn't?
I did not. But you go ahead. technically is, if you want to be scientific about it, is...
Guess what? The sound was off on there.
Oh.
Now the sound is on. Thank you, sound. So anyway, we covered the Solabusca, which you saw here. Sorry about that. I don't know why my software died.
Oh,
sound
it was really a
garbled.
fiery electric bolt.
He's saying is it better now?
Are we? Can you hear us?
Sound. How bad is it?
Can you hear us now?
Because I may have to restart this. Gosh darn it.
Like picking up you two. Yeah, we like you hearing us. Can you hear us?
Gosh darn it.
Like picking up you two.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, we like you hearing us. Okay.
Can
you hear us?
So it's definitely working. That is Facebook. Oh look, we even have we have subtitles.
Okay. Can you hear us?
So it's definitely working. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna
anyway, we're fine.
Right, let me go back to.
Hey, silence! Silence! Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
Anyway.
All right. So mana.
Okay.
So technically, the scientific term is Trabutina mana para, which means basically bug poop. And so
tasty.
Yeah,
but probably full of protein.
Right? So so basically these bugs would eat plants and stuff and they excrete this very sweet honeydew, basically.
Oh.
And so it's kind of like honey. But that's what they were eating. But that's what some have said are these circle things coming down from heaven. It's like, I smite you, but I also am also nice to you. So,
yeah, but I mean, I think that...
So it's again, there's good and bad in every card.
But I would think that would have to be more along the lines of like bricks tumbling to start off with.
Circle bricks?
Well, okay, that's because they are trying to make wood blocks. And so...
Well, a square would be easier to cut out than a circle.
Well, okay. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because that has to be absolute speculation because... we don't know. I mean, we can say anything. I could say that they're little UFOs coming down to land.
That's a good possibility. But
so I'm going to say that they're bricks.
Circle bricks? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, boulders are round. Boulders.
I also
bricks.
personally, I thought they were sparks. Like
so, if I was in the 15th, 16th century and I saw that,
yep, pancakes.
I would say that it's just explosion.
Yep.
And that it's going to be rocks coming down.
Rocks, or I thought that.
I mean, is there a historical context? Now, I'm just asking: is there a footnote, a historical context, somebody said, anywhere ever that said?
Yes, somebody said. I think this is mana.
Okay,
so it's speculation.
Who is that somebody?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know me. I know
footnotes. Somebody said it. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that somebody had this idea, and it's worth mentioning it. Because it's a Bible story, and I like the whole positive negative. Plan.
So, but at no place in the Bible does it say.
Well, in the whole
that when the Tower of Babel gets hit, it's like, but I'm going to give you some mana.
No, you have to. There's a different Bible story about the Israelites lost in the desert.
Well, there's also another one where somebody's sleeping with somebody's daughter.
Sure.
It's like
there's lots of stories in the Bible. I'm just throwing out one of them.
You're mixing metaphors.
Sure.
I'm just throwing that out. Okay. I like footnotes. You know that.
I know, but we don't have a footnote for everything.
Yes, we do.
It's a speculation. Somebody thought it reminded him of mana.
Well, actually, it's interesting because, like I say, if I pull out a Robert Place or something like that, I do like to say, this is where I got it.
Sure. Okay. So
it's mana from heaven.
Don't know. Okay. I don't know if Robert Place said it, but somebody said it. It wasn't me.
Mana, round circles. Okay.
I
got you.
All right. Anyway,
so I will agree with you that it is possible that this could be mana from heaven.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. It also could be sparks or fire. That's what I personally.
Oh well, now you got me convinced it's mana.
No. I was just, I'm just throwing out.
I was convinced.
No. It's more likely just fire sparks.
What a relationship. I want a divorce. You're gaslighting me.
Then who would
You are gaslighting me.
Well, I'm fireballing you.
You're fireballing me. Okay. So anyway, so yes. So you got that.
Yep.
And then, so we've got that. And then we're going to the, we have 1701 here, which is, the Dodell.
Yes.
1701 with more mana from heaven.
More mana from heaven.
And it is interesting because you can see that they've got this fire.
Yeah, it's very feathery fire.
It's very feathery fire. And then when we go to the Conver,
yeah,
which is the 1760,
it becomes Paisley fire.
It becomes Paisley fire, but we still have the mana coming down.
Yep.
And then
I like how you're calling it mana now.
I know. I'm just because I can work with you.
Not rocks, not bricks.
You know what? They're pancakes. I like pancakes. I haven't had dinner yet.
Pancakes are good.
So we can see that there really is a stylized, and that they really did just between these three, they are pretty much just copying off of each other.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting a little bit better, and then as we start moving into like the French decks,
JJ,
yeah, and the other decks, we go into the 1JJ.
Look at that arrow.
Now we're starting to get that arrow, that lightning strike.
Yes,
it's not so much the fire,
but that's the main thing.
Because now we are starting to get that
bolt.
Lightning bolt.
Yes, indeed.
Now it's becoming more like a lightning bolt. All the way up to the Oswald Worth, which is the 1889.
See it coming striking down.
And 1893. So somewhere along the lines,
Oswald Worth really looks like an arrow.
Somebody had just made a decision that this is going to be a lightning bolt and not just fire coming down from heaven, which actually makes more sense if you think about, the lightning bolt. But God is going to produce fire. I mean, he rains down fire on Sodom.
Yep.
The stories talk about raining
fire and
down
fury.
Fire.
But I think it wasn't necessarily a I'm going to do it this way. I think it was more of a clarification of this is how it always was. It was always about the lightning. Let's emphasize that a bit more with a more stylized arrow.
Right. And it just ends up looking better as you get more creative artists.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, you get up to the later ones. And
so you get the artwork that's
beautiful.
Actually, yeah. So now we've got the lightning bolts and things like that. And we start drifting into the occult stuff.
Yes. Now, you want to go with...
I was going to actually read from Levi.
Okay.
So let me see here.
Good old Levi.
Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. And because I thought it was interesting reading Levi and then reading Wait. So Levi relies on common association of the Tower of Babel. A tower struck. This is Levi, Eliphas Levi. What year was he?
He was, let's see here,
I forgot.
1860.
Yeah. So
19th century.
Right, and so he read De Gebelin, and he's like, well, let me run with this, and I'm going to turn this into an occult tarot. And a tower is struck by lightning, probably that of Babel. Two persons, doubtless Nimrod, the king of Mesopotamia, who had the tower built, and his false prophet or minister are precipitated from the summit of the ruins. One of the personages in his fall reproduces the letter A-N, A-Y-I-N. The shape of the man in the front of the tower resembles this Hebrew letter, which Levi's corresponding letter for the trump. So he's starting to make this into an occult thing.
Yeah.
And then, which is funny because then, yes.
And then Waite comes along and
what is, did you read Waite's?
Go ahead.
Okay. And so Waite comes along and it says, well, that's all fine and
good,
well,
but...
But
yeah, wait.
Occult explanations attached to this card are meager. And mostly disconcerting. It is idle to indicate that it depicts ruin in all its aspects because it bears the evidence on the surface. It is said further that it contains the first allusions to a material building.
I wouldn't call it the first illusions, but remember the devil card we just came back before. But go ahead.
While I do conceive that the tower is more or less material than the pillars which we have met with in the three previous cases, I see nothing to warrant Pappas in supposing that it is the literal fall of Adam, but there is more in favor of his alternative. It goes on. So yeah, And what I like what he says down here is he agrees. I rather agree with the Grand Orient that it is the ruin of the house of life when
The
evil
Grand
prevailed.
Orient, which is himself.
I tend to agree with myself. Yes. So I also publish under the Grand Orient.
That's my other pseudonym.
So, oh my gosh.
Wait.
It's like his own footnote, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sourcing myself.
Michael, where did you get that from?
I got it from myself.
The Mystic Auger. In one of his writings, he said it's pancakes.
But yeah, so the whole the whole idea with the weight card. But you notice he's got those 3 windows, because so he was definitely.
Well, that's exactly.
He's definitely liking that
Trinity.
He likes that St. Barbara story.
Well, and also Oswald Wirth has got the 3.
He does. So Wirth has it too.
So yeah, which I
mean,
it's a Golden Dawn thing by this point.
Yeah. Well, they steal from each other, but they do.
Or they read the same book.
So going into some of the symbology, it is said that the male represents the conscious and the female the subconscious. Together, they're the intellect.
And which one's the male?
The
red. Is it the blue or the red?
No, the blue, I believe, is the king, and the woman is with the red.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So anyway, together they're intellect, but it's the whole killing of the ego idea. But you notice that the fire is burning from the top downwards, and that symbolizes that it's long overdue change to someone who thinks they're on the top of their game, but basically you're getting this traumatizing course correction. So I'm at the top of my game. I'm thinking I'm great. Oh no, you're not. Lightning bolt from the fire from above coming down on you. So it's basically just putting you in your place, taking you down a notch when your ego gets too big. But the tower itself represents individual consciousness and self-image, the artificial perception of the world, and the mind, left to its own devices, is as dark as the sky, as the night sky. Then the top, painted yellow, not true gold, but painted to look like a golden crown, but it's a false crown representing a fallacious willpower. And it is also said that the man and woman are responsible for building and maintaining the tower, but now it's destroyed by a blast of superconsciousness. So they had this vanity, they had this great ego. Look at me, I can create this big tower. I'm getting too big for my britches. Smack down. Right. And But here's the positive thing, that in order to reach great heights, you sometimes first need to go down. Like every tale, the hero doesn't just happily ever after. He has to go, into the dark forest.
Well, you have to learn something.
Exactly.
So your truths. And so what I always associate with this card, and it just pops in my head every time, is that the one thing that hurts, and I've said this about the devil, but it really came when I was working with the tower. But the one thing that hurts, the one thing that destroys more than a lie, is the truth. And that's what that lightning bolt is.
It's
that
the
lightning
truth.
bolt is the truth. So if your foundation is built on lies, and all of a sudden
it can't last forever.
You get hit with the truth.
The truth will come out.
Yeah. And they say the truth will set you free, but it's going to hurt first.
Right. But the truth can come in a flash, right? Like a bolt of blue.
Out of the blue,
right? Is what they say. But when you put in the long hours of study, and you got to put in the work, right? But then all of a sudden, the lightning will light up your mind like it lights up the sky. It's like all of a sudden it all connects, and eureka! This makes sense to me now, and if you put in the work, then this is, again, trying to describe this as the positive, because people always see the tower as a negative card, but there's positive too. So it can be like this eureka moment of like, oh, it's all connecting now. I'm getting the flash of insight, and I'm connecting things now, and it's divinely, gifted, but it can be positive.
Well, yeah, but again, and exactly, but it's going to hurt first.
Well, sometimes it stings. Sometimes it stings.
The importance is, and so
pride comes before a fall, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Pride comes before a fall, and that's where I was going to lead into why this comes after the devil. Because I used to wonder, it's like, here we have death, and then we go into temperance, and then we have the devil, and it's like, we're doing our fool's journey here. Doot. We were bound, we're chained, and everything else.
Right.
But I used to think of it just as addictions and things like that and all the negative things we did. But the devil is also our pride. It's our hubris. It is the fact that it's like, I can build this tower and I can touch the heavens.
Right.
And I mean, we see the billionaires now who are doing it.
Right.
I'm going to build these towers and I'm going to touch the heavens.
Phallic rockets.
Absolute hubris.
Yes.
Until whatever happens, it's like,
karma will eventually smack them down.
Right. And so for us mere mortals, when we have that hubris, when we think that we can drive faster than anybody else, when we think we can climb that mountain, when we think that we can conquer anything, and then we end up going bankrupt.
Right.
That is, all those things that were driven by the devil card. All those negative things where we didn't listen. If we had only stopped and listened, instead of just saying, I can do this.
Push forward, yep.
So that's how we get to the tower.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And with the devil card, the two figures were slaves to instinct, but now in the tower card, they're slaves to the intellect, and they can't handle the truth, so they jump out the window. It's basically one step further.
Yeah. So no, exactly. And so a lot of times when you do see this card, and that's funny. That's why I pulled up the Tower of Destruction.
Dun dun dun.
Because Hollywood always loves pulling this card out, but in a sense, depending upon the situation,
yeah,
it could be. But for the most part, in everyday life, it's just the fact that we don't know as much as we think we do. We think that we are the Knight of Swords and we know everything and we're just going to charge forward. Who cares?
This is reminding me of your morning meditation.
Exactly.
But can we?
Yeah, that's right.
Can we talk about the Crowley Thoth Tarot?
We can.
All right. So, in his version, the fire comes from below. This is the hell mouth, again, the Hebrew word mouth, that we've so he's got this hell mouth, and it's sparked by the eye, but the fire comes from below, and you still have the people jumping out the window.
Yep.
But Crowley calls this the manifestation of cosmic energy in its grossest form, and the eye here is said to be the eye of Shiva or the eye of Horus, but basically the eye of, Shiva is the great destructor.
Right.
And
Hindu religion.
Yes. And so when they say that the ultimate reality is nothingness, and to achieve perfection, all things must be destroyed. So the tower, or the lightning bolt, if a better name for it, is necessary. Because if you don't destroy your ego or what have you,
right,
you'll never be able to evolve. So it, again...
And it just reminds me of when I was in the military. I mean, that's the purpose of basic training, is to tear you down,
break you down,
so they can build you
back up. Yep, exactly.
It's an ego destroyer.
Yeah. I don't quite like the army because they build you up in their way.
Right.
But the idea,
what they're doing.
the idea is there. Yep. Yes. And then let's see here. So there's a dove up here and a serpent. The dove represents the will to live. The serpent, the will to die. And these two are not incompatible. It just, it's again, you have to.
That's interesting. Okay, and I can see that. So I didn't read about that, but let's look at that for a second.
Yeah.
Tell me what you. Okay, so the will to live and the will to die.
Right, and they're not incompatible.
So. And is it put like that?
It's put just like that.
Because that's interesting. So tell me what you believe that philosophy is, and I can dig a little bit in my mind with it because I like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So to me, what that means is that again, you have to have that balance between your free will and divine will, and that harmony that you have in the Lover's Choice card, you have in this card as well, and it's. You need to balance your will with your higher will. And when you do that, then things are good. When you don't, things are
Well, you know what it seems to me if I'm sitting so the will to live and the will to die. So when I am living my life to the fullest, I'm living my life because I know I'm going to die. I know I will die. It's like I'm going to
seize the day.
I am not going to, have the will to survive. I'm not going to have which is closing up the will to exist.
Right.
The will to just be here. The will to live means to experience. And that's with the understanding that, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die.
We die, yeah, exactly.
So we're willing to go out and still live life knowing that, tomorrow we might die.
So enjoy the day. Seize the day.
Okay, so I actually kind of like that as a little philosophical bent on that card. Okay.
And then the other thing that Crowley only hints at, so I don't have the rest of the story. I wish I did, but you need to be a high level 11th degree of the OTO in order to know this. But Crowley hints that the eye is connected to some sex magic secrets only known to these 11th degree OTOs. He says that a hint that Arab sages and Persian poets have written about this.
Sure.
But
well, you know what?
Yeah.
If you want to go up to his hotel room and have a cup of tea, he'll
tell you all
about it. Yes.
But yeah, that's just a little side note there. But yes, I wanted to, if you don't mind.
Well, and I just wanted to point something out.
Sure.
Just on this particular card.
Yes, please.
That there is. Where are we at? Let me get down here. Did I not put it on here?
I don't think you did. I'll just hold it up for you.
Oh no! There, I found. Oh, I did not put it on here. So I had found a painting or from a manuscript. The Hellmouth.
Yes.
That looks like this. Just people coming out. Oh!
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You know what? No. It was not in that. It is
this book.
Yes. Okay.
This wonderful book.
So it makes me wonder. If Lady Frida had not seen this. And this is from the book Tarot and Divination by Laetitia Barbier. And but yeah, it makes me wonder if Lady Frida had not seen this picture.
Yeah.
Look
at that Hellmouth.
And I'm sure there's probably other biblical ones, but this one here is from 1440.
Yeah.
So Hellmouth and the Flaming Fortress of Hell from the Hours of Catherine of Cleves in a Latin illuminated manuscript. So I just thought that was pretty interesting as far as comparing the two.
I love these little demon guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's
awesome.
pretty in depth.
That's fantastic.
So I wanted to show you that in case you had not.
I have the book, so believe me.
Yes,
this is a great book.
But I compared when I saw that. The first thing I thought of was the Thoth.
Yes, indeed. But
It is a great book.
can I tell you a little bit about my tarot card that I'm working on?
I have been waiting for this moment. I have been waiting for this. Let me get the front camera going here.
All right.
Okay, I am. So again, Michael is making his own deck.
I am,
and you guys haven't seen it yet.
You haven't even seen it.
I have not seen this.
Not the final draft. So the cards that I showed you were kind of like a first draft.
Yeah.
I've improved them, but yeah. So I'll have to show you again. But yeah. So the tower. I don't think I'm going to call it the tower. I think I'm going to call it the lightning bolt or the thunderbolt or something. I mean, it just is more fitting.
Yeah.
But anyway, for this card, I've got the in the corner. I've got a midnight sun. Right. Now this goes to occult philosophy. Now, according to Manly P. Hall of you know Manly Hall, right?
Yeah, he's an author.
Yes. Okay, so that's my source for this one. But the midnight sun symbolizes the spirit of man shining through the darkness of his human organisms. It also referred to the spiritual sun of the solar system, which the mystic could see as well at midnight as at high noon. The material earth being powerless to obstruct the rays of the divine orb, the mysterious lights which illuminated the temples of the Egyptian mysteries during the nocturnal hours were also said to be reflections of the midnight sun, the spiritual sun, gathered by the magical powers of the priests. So anyway, it's this cool esoteric thing, right? Now, I've got...
Was that from one of his short stories? What is that from?
Manly Hall is So
he's a pulp writer. He was a pulp writer.
But he also wrote this giant book about the occult and all...
Which I did not know.
You have the book.
Hold on. Oh, am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. Okay.
Manly.
Manly Wademan. I'm thinking. Okay, cool. Yes.
You've got the book.
Yes. I have thousands of books in my house.
In your library.
Yes.
But anyway, so
because I was sitting here looking, it's like Manly.
Not science fiction. Not science fiction.
Yeah.
No. We're going to occult stuff now. But
and I'll tell you, and just to let you know, the reason why I associated with that is Carl Edward Wagner also has a book called The Midnight Sun, and he wrote a lot of pulp stuff also.
Gotcha.
So I was thinking pulp authors.
Right.
Okay.
Right. No, different.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm in someplace
Midnight
else.
Sun. I mean, you could also go the whole black hole sun if you want to do Soundgarden. But anyway, we're getting off the track.
Go ahead.
Okay. So in my card, I've got the sun, but it's midnight. The sky is black, right? So instead of the sun being yellow with orange rays, as it is in other cards of my deck, I have it reversed. So the opposite of yellow on the color wheel is purple, and the opposite of orange on the color wheel is blue. Okay. So I've got this sun that is a purple sun with blue rays, right? And one of the blue rays, a bolt of blue, is the lightning bolt hitting the tower. Isn't that cool?
Interesting.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
So that's my midnight sun, and it's giving that creative, divine blast of goodness, but it does so in an extreme manner because the tower is being, bursting into flames and the people are jumping out as, traditional
I can see that. It doesn't really change the meaning of the cards, but it adds a layer.
It adds a layer. And so I'm throwing that in there too because, again, my deck, I like to weave all the history and all the occult stuff that I can find and mush it all together and stir it all up.
Yeah.
And that's what my deck is going to be. So I'm infusing it. If you know the Marseille, you're going to be able to identify with this. If you know the Rider-Waite, you're going to be able to. If you are deep dive into all the occult magician lore, you're going to find things. There's so many layers to the stuff because I've been just pouring over. It's
People
crazy.
just write this down. I'm trying to get him to do a Kickstarter.
I know.
I'm saying he needs to come up with a significator so he can hold it up and say, "This is good."
I know.
I've seen him, and it's like he really needs to do something.
Thank you for your patience, but
Write him.
It's coming soon, I promise. But I've been working hard, and this is one of my favorite cards because it's I love that Midnight Sun.
She's been one. I've had the door open the whole time. I'm going to close it.
Oh,
Not for the last 5 minutes.
she's probably sick of tarot.
I know. So anyway, so we are down to the last 5 minutes, and I think we covered everything I had.
Yeah, you want to do a little reading?
Yeah, let me see. Religion, Jesus.
Oh, the only thing I missed was the connection to Mars in the zodiac.
Yeah.
Which is energy, excitement, and change, and it can be painful and sudden, but revelation is positive. So change is good. Most of the time, change is good.
Yeah.
So when you get the tower, it's not always doom and gloom.
If it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen later.
It's better to rip the Band-Aid off and get on with it because then you'll be able to evolve. So.
Right.
Anyway, that said.
That's awesome. So, shall we do a reading, pull up it and see how we do it, see how it looks in a reading?
I think that would be grand.
And you're going to use that. I'm going to grab the good old, let me reach behind here and I'm going to grab the good old classic weight deck just because this card is so popular and so well known.
Yes, indeed. I'm going with the Tarot of the Master just because it's so pretty and I love this.
You know, I saw somebody had actually, with the Tarot of the Masters, here, you know, I'll even do this since we're doing it. With the Tarot of the Masters, they actually trimmed it and it was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because they've got all the things here. I've got the exact same deck and there's not a really good version of here that doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So
Borderless is always better. Oh, I'm making my deck borderless, definitely.
until US Games comes along and buys it.
It's possible.
And then you'll be like, sure, I'll add an order. Yes. How much?
I'll just make 2 different versions, borderless and border.
I will gladly sacrifice my artistic values.
No, I'll just have 2 options.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that is the devil's really cool in that one. I love that.
Well, let me find my tower card, and you go ahead and do a reading first.
Okay, so what we like to do at the end here is see how the card actually looks in a reading. And so I wasn't sure which deck we're going to use here. Okay, so, but let's say that we're going to do a reading and somebody needs to understand why something is happening. So maybe they already know, maybe it's something negative in their life has now happened and they need to understand it. So I would say that maybe we need to see the foundation that's crumbling.
Okay.
And the truth that we need
that's coming down from heaven.
That's coming down that we need to be able to understand and move forward. Because again, this is not necessarily a negative thing.
Right.
So foundation that's crumbling that we built all the negative stuff on, and this is the truth that we need to move forward.
All right.
So the foundation, the world reversed. So maybe the issue is that we thought we had everything. You know, maybe we were even deluding ourselves. It's like we thought, here's this world, and you know, I'm in a relationship and I'm going to pretend it's okay. I'm going to put on my little apron and I'm going to put on my pearl necklaces and I'm going to vacuum just like I've seen June Cleaver, and I'm the guy, but that's okay today. So, but it turns out that I can't be a 50s housewife. You know, I can try, but it's just not me. So whatever it is, whether it's work, it's like I've deluded myself and my world is upside down. And I just didn't want to see it, and it's dragged on too long. And so what is the light of truth? It's the Empress.
Look at that. Earthly, but in a good way.
And hold on for a second, because now why is my camera?
Oh, it froze up.
Yes, but I can do something here. That is weird. Why is this doing this today?
Technical difficulties. But I think that's fantastic. You have the upside down world, and as the negative, and the Empress, which is the world basically, but right side up. It's perfect.
So here we go. I'll just do it like this then. But yes, and so that is how I'm seeing it.
No, upside down.
Yeah, I'll do
there
it
you
like
go.
this. Boy, today, I don't know why my software is having so much issues.
Lightning bolts, tower bolts.
But with the world upside down, and then what is this? Is that the reality is the Empress. It's I have the ability to create hearth and home, but I have to get past all the lies and really see what it is that will empower me. So I need to make everything crawl. It's like, no matter how bad things are, this really is my inner self. I just haven't found my inner self because I was pretending this is what I thought I wanted. And my world is turned upside down. So whether it's leaving a relationship, whether it's leaving a job, this is about creation. This is about moving forward. This is something new. So that's how I might want to read the Tower, if I have that.
Yeah, positive Earth energy versus the world upside down. That's it's fantastic.
So.
All right, so let's see what mine have to say.
See if this fixes it.
Blue screen. I'll just shuffle while you're getting your camera ready.
That just ain't gonna work.
I could just hold it up. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or we could just do the big screen. It's fine.
Today is the day.
We're making do.
So, okay.
So I've got my tower, or lightning bolt, as it were. And I love that spread idea that you just came up with, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the what's keeping us down.
Do this. Oh, well. I was saying if we could say. But yes, go ahead.
Yep. What's keeping us down, and what the divine energy from above. So I'll do it like that, or whatever. Because my lightning bolt's coming from this side. So
the one that's underneath.
Yeah. So yeah, what will be our peril, but what's the enlightenment that we need to accept?
Okay.
Yeah. And the sun upside down. So the sun upside down.
Yes.
Usually is so the sun is usually a very positive card. But
so
when
he's got the tower and then he's got the sun underneath it.
But when the sun is upside down and reversed, some say that it's still good, but you just kind of like have to wait for it.
Expectations haven't been met yet.
Right.
Yeah.
But I see that when the sun is reversed for me, especially when it's right underneath a eventful card like this, I see this as much more negatively. Again, every card can be both positive and negative.
Right.
And I'm seeing this as a negative card right now. So when your sun, when you think everything is going good, but it's not, it's almost like, the devil card.
Right.
It's you're deluded. So what is this bolt of blue that's gonna like wake you up? It's judgment reversed. So yeah. So again, you're being judged. Something you have done, and judgment reversed. It doesn't mean a good thing. It means you're being judged for for something that you've done that isn't good. You're infamous, so you're doing bad things and you're being judged for it when it's reversed. That's how I read
Yeah.
it.
That's good.
So when you see, so you're doing something wrong and people are calling you on it, and that's what you need to hear because you think it's all good, but really it's not. It's like Jeff Bezos and his rocket. I'm doing great, but are you? Are you really? Look at your workers. Look at the conditions that you put your workers in. Yeah, it's great that you can send Captain Kirk to space. We all love Captain Kirk, but you need to. We're judging you.
Yeah. So you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to the tower, the truth is that the judgment, that you are being judged and you're being judged negatively.
Exactly.
And you need to be able to see the light. Gabriel is calling forth these people, and it's like you're not one of the ones being called, and you need to wake up to that.
Exactly right.
So, okay.
So another fun
It was,
chat.
except for the technical difficulties.
There's always
My
there's always
the tower. You know what? I wonder if it has something to do with
the tower. Dun dun dun.
My God, the Tower of Destruction.
Well, hopefully everything will be more smooth sailing next week.
Yeah,
and
really.
we can have some hope. We can wish.
Oh,
on a star?
We can have faith.
Well, that comes later.
Faith next week.
That comes later.
So hope.
But
faith.
hope.
Well, no, because the star is about faith.
Well, see,
Yes, absolutely.
I
faith.
I like to
belief.
Yeah. So in my
we're going to cover that next week.
Okay.
See, that's the problem. We could sit here now and start going.
All right, yeah, we go.
And it's time to order. The second. Time for dessert, and we haven't even finished our dinner
I know.
We talked about the tower the whole time.
You got me going. I'm like, I want to talk about. No, it's not faith. It's just hope. It's hope. But next week we will discuss the star.
Pandora's box of.
Oh, that's another card. See, I've got all these other cards in my deck where I don't have to share. Like the star is just the star, and I've got.
He's gonna have 100 cards. In his freaking deck.
It's gonna be awesome.
And it keeps saying, "You're gonna use all 100, aren't you, Jamie?" And it's like, pay me.
Yeah.
No, I will definitely try all 100.
You will. Yes. You'll be a master, I'm sure.
Because again, the whole thing is you use the deck and you use the information that comes from the deck. So of course I'll try it with 100.
I think you'll like it.
And it's cool because you can also just use the regular.
You can use the regular cards. They're all going to be there,
Yep.
but I'm going to have a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
And then so you've got like I said, the cycles of 10. You've got the it was the choice, and then it was the tower or the lightning bolt, and then I'll have the dragon. So there's 3 cycles, and well, I'll get into that another time. But there's a whole nother cycle of obscure cards that I'll be including, and they follow the same correspondences and stuff. It all fits so perfectly.
Cool.
I can't wait. But anyway,
Okay.
till next week.
Till next week.
I'm Michael.
I'm Jamie, and I'll have all my technical difficulties worked out.
Yes. And you can always find us on MyTarot.org.
Yep.
And all the links to my websites, artieforever.com. You can find us on Facebook at the MyTarot. Just search for us.
Yep.
Say hi. Talk to us. Tell us what your thoughts.
That's where we hang out every day. I do a daily reflection every morning at 7:30 Eastern time. Yes, and so MyTarot.org's got links to his website, links to the Facebook page, links to the everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So
and the lightning bolt.
Thanks a lot, everybody,
Yeah.
and I will see everybody tomorrow if you're interested in coming and seeing the reflections in the morning. Bye.